Hi guys, my name is Meredith Terpelek Shaler. I am the author and creator of Healthy Voice, but I am not your healthy voice. God, I believe, is your healthy voice, and I'm all about helping you listen to his still small voice. It's pretty hard to hear in this crazy world today. So I help you address issues that you face in your everyday life with spiritual solutions and biblical truths. So one of the things I want to talk to you about today, actually, today there's tons of stuff. So this video may not be as quick as I try to make them. I don't know if you're aware, but today is 420, and in the world of drugs, we know what 420 is. It's also Alcohol Awareness Month. Today is Young Adult Grief Awareness Day, and this week is National Parks Week. And you may wonder how I'm going to get that all into one thing, but believe me, I'm going to do it. So, there's two things I really want to tell you about today that are things that we can do to cope with these crazy things in our lives, whether it's grief or divorce or loss or alcoholism or drug abuse or all sorts of things. And it may not be in your life, but it definitely, I bet, is in people's lives around you. And there's two huge things that we need to realize are gifts from God to us. And they really, in a lot of ways, don't cost a thing. And they are music and nature. And I want to tell you about those two things because they're two things that I've experienced powerfully in the last few weeks. So, first, I want to tell you about being in nature. I love to be out in nature, but the other week we had the good fortune to go out to the Southwest and take Sammy and her good friend on a tour of the canyons. And it was absolutely incredible, and we got to be so close to God. And it just reminded me about how nature is such a gift that we can experience, that he is bigger than us and he's got a plan bigger than ours. And really that he can do such great things in our lives because he created all of that's around us. And Grand Canyon is no cooler way or place to find that out. And it's funny because my mom took me there when I was in high school, and she told me that I was a total brat when we were there, but I still tell her. I was standing on the South Rim the other week, and I told her, you know what, Mom, I still will say to you that this trip planted a seed for the rest of my life to have a passion for the national parks. More than any other trip to Europe or anywhere I'd ever been, that trip planted a seed. That made me love the national parks. And they are really where I connect to God. So, and really, guess what? You don't have to enjoy them with a mind altering substance. You can just enjoy their beauty with nothing but yourself and a pair of hiking shoes and your good friends around you. And I am so grateful that we got to take Sammy and her friend because we get to pass on that love of nature as a legacy to the kids that isn't teaching them but showing them our love. So I just don't think there's any better, and not any, it's just one of many gifts you can give to your kids and the next generation. The second thing I want to tell you about is this concert I went to last night. It's called the Outcry Tour, and it is I guess you could call it a Christian, um, I don't know, worship event. And it was in Grand Rapids. We drove up, Sammy, myself, and another college girl I mentor. We went up to Grand Rapids last night, 2 hour drive just to see this concert, and it was worth the drive. I don't think there's anything better than taking a road trip to a concert. And road trips rock, but taking a road trip to a concert with a bunch of women, a bunch of young girls that, you know, you can just bond all the way and bond all the way back. I mean, we're in the car and we never stop talking. And it just is an incredible experience to be present to these girls. And I hope I get to do more of it with more young women because I think it's such a powerful way to speak into the next generation. But when we got to this event, it went on forever. I mean, I grew up going to concerts my whole life. My mom planted that seed, but these concerts now, when I go to these Christian concerts, it just blows me away because the power of God in the room, the Spirit of God fills the room like nobody's business. And there was no difference last night. It just blew me away. And we had these incredible seats on the floor, right direct in front of the stage. And there were artists like Carrie Job and Jesus Culture and Hillsong. And I don't know if I mean, Hillsong is such an incredible church organization, youth worship band, that these people have written these songs that are heard in churches all over the world. And you should see the way kids are moved by this. I mean, this stadium had 11,000 people, and I bet you 70% were young kids. I mean, if you're wondering how to reach kids, guess what? That's the kind of place that they're listening. So, and I say that because to me, I hear people say that the next generation is falling away from the church and blah, 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 blah. I don't think that. I think a lot of them are looking for a relationship with God, and a lot of them are seeking it through things like music events. And so I'm really glad I got to go and experience it with these kids and all these other young people around me, because it just showed me how much God wants to change our hearts for the next generation. And so anyway, the whole point of all this is music is like nature. Music is something we can experience for free. Again, we don't need mind-altering substances, and it is a gift from God, I believe, that helps us heal our hearts. You probably, like me, have gone through things in your life that music has helped you navigate them. There are songs that help you take you back to moments that you've had amazing times or gotten you through rough spots. So don't underestimate the power of music. You can use it very intentionally to empower you, to empower your healthy voice, to really hear that God is speaking to you, because he's not quiet if you really listen. So on the way there and on the way back, the girls and I, now mind you, one's in college, one's in high school, we covered all sorts of different I mean, name it, we talked about it. But some of the stuff we covered, I kind of mentioned loss, alcoholism, drug addiction, overdose, all these things that happen in this generation today. And not just, sometimes it's parents, sometimes it's friends, but, there is just stuff going on in these kids' lives, just around them, like in their classes, that it boggles my mind, and how much people need to know that they can have a relationship with God, because this stuff doesn't need to be happening. It's too much. And so I guess my whole point in connecting the beginning of this message with this is that we have at our hands nature, like outside my window, and music, two huge things that we can cope with our tough spots in life that have nothing to do with any kind of mind-altering stuff. But I know people still do it. I know I did it. But if we can introduce people to, stuff that is so much more rewarding, where you just get to be you and not somebody you're not, it's pretty powerful stuff. So to me, I could have taken those girls to a concert where everybody was boozing and, everybody was smoking, and I got to take them to something that majority of the people, I bet, didn't have any substance in them, and it just was, standing in the presence of God and worshiping and having a blast. So I guess I just want to say, if you struggle with that stuff, that not to underestimate the power of music and nature. And if you know somebody who needs a little guidance, who needs a little presence of someone in their life like you, invite him to a concert. Invite him to go on a hike with you, or a walk with you, or set up a road trip, or do something that takes someone who is struggling out of the chaos that they're in. So I don't know if, and know that you have good in you to share with someone else. You may be struggling too, but you've got good stuff to share with somebody else. So all that being said, I guess I just want to encourage you to be a healthy voice for someone else. And it doesn't mean you're forcing it. It means you're just being it. And at this time of the year, especially with, I know my stepdaughter's graduating. I mean, spring is just a crazy time, and there's nothing better than to be able to be present to people and kids when they're transitioning in life or getting ready to graduate. Then, kind of go, just just expecting them to go party, or, because those little moments when you catch them are pretty powerful. So, anyway, I have talked, I'm sorry, for 10 minutes, but maybe this message helped you. So, I hope you have an awesome Wednesday, and I'm going to either go out in nature or work out, which is a whole other thing that you can use intentionally to find your healthy voice. Okay, guys, you have an awesome day. I will see you next week. Bye bye.